Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. Joyce has left his third trainer in under 2.5 years as a professional heavyweight. At the Daniel Dubois and Joyce press conference, which followed the announcement, there were comments from Sam Jones, Joyce's manager, that they weren't working with Adam Booth anymore. Joyce had been with Adam Booth since about April 2019, had 2 fights under him, the Ustinov and then Bryant Jennings fight. So the Bryant Jennings fight, the biggest of his career, that is the fight that he's coming off. So heading into that fight with Daniel Dubois, he would have been without a fight for the best part, 9 months, and now he's not working with Booth. And actually, before I get to Jones's comments, clearly this has been a recent move, because here is a photo from Adam Booth's social media. Joyce here working with him as late as January 23rd. So this has obviously happened quickly. We knew that this Joyce and Daniel Dubois fight was coming, but something's happened behind the scenes for them to go, okay, we're going to part ways now. And Sam Jones was asked, look, was there some sort of beef here? And we'll get to that in a second. But he says, we don't want to divulge into that too much. Joe's going to do his training camp in Las Vegas in the best facilities in the world. And he's going to come back and be the best Joyce on the night. And there's going to be zero excuses in this fight. And then Joyce went on to add, it's very important I get this right. The MC follows up asking a question, is there fallout with Adam? Jones straight back saying, no, not at all, not remotely. I know people usually say there's a fallout, not remotely. Zero fallout. Joe just needs to be away. Joe's better when he's away, so we need the best Joyce. We're not taking him lightly. Daniel, as I've said before, we can say whatever we like. I respect him. He's a great fighter, 22 years old. He's stepping up to the plate. Not many people would do that. They're both at different stages of their career. I believe a loss would damage Joe more than it would Daniel. That's what I honestly believe. Joe needs to be the best he's ever been. So those were the statements of Sam Jones, Joyce's manager, as well as the brief one from Joyce on the split with Adam Booth. So 3 trainers in 2.5 years. His first trainer was Ismail Salas. That was when he was with David Haye. Then when Joyce moved to America, he parted ways with Salas and he began to be trained by Abel Sanchez. So he was trained by Salas and Sanchez, both for roughly the best part of a year each. And after the fight against Berman Stavern, he parted ways, this is Joyce, parted ways with Abel Sanchez, and in the April of 2019 joined forces with Adam Booth, had the 2 fights as I mentioned. So you have to ask the question, what is going on here? Because he really is changing trainers like he's changing underwear. He's doing it very quickly, and you have to ask the question, what is the underlying issue here and problem that they have to do this, the chopping, the changing? I mean, I know that when he joined with Adam Booth, I think there were a number of us who were looking at that sort of move going, is that really the best fit? Because Adam Booth uses quite an athletic style for his fighters. Think George Groves, David Haye. Joyce is a guy who has been accused by fans of being a bit slow and plodding. Punches don't really land that quickly, but he's very effective at what he does. He throws a lot of punches, a lot of volume, but maybe not quite in the Adam Booth mold. So maybe after the best part of a year, perhaps a reason for the split is it's just not the right fit. And as Sam Jones says, he needs Joyce to be at his best. They need Joyce to come in the best he's ever been. So perhaps they've made the decision that, look, this just isn't working. So maybe they do have someone teed up already that they just haven't announced it. But there was no name, no new trainer announced at the press conference. So Joyce traveling to Las Vegas without a trainer and a couple of months out, because the fight is going to be on April 11th at the O2 in London. It's not necessarily the best timing, is it? He's been with Adam Booth, and the last fight was in July. If he was going to make a change, why not do it after that fight? But perhaps this has been a more recent thing, and obviously Joyce is late as January 23rd in Booth's gym, training with Booth, doing bits and pieces, whatever they were up to. But another thing there that I sort of picked up on, Jones saying Joyce is better when he's away. So maybe there is some influences in Joe Joyce's life, perhaps family, girlfriend, who knows. There could be some distractions that he needs to get away from. And perhaps they've realised after Joe Joyce coming back to the United Kingdom after he signed on to fight in the Frank Warren stable, perhaps there has been too many distractions being at home. In other interviews, they did talk about, this is Jones and Joyce, about the need to get away, be a caveman, lead a Spartan lifestyle. So perhaps there is an influence or outside influences that have sort of factored into this decision to go to Las Vegas. I don't think that it's a case of Adam Booth is not a good trainer, although we can question the fit of trainer and fighter. That always seemed a little bit of an odd coupling, but I guess he is now off to Las Vegas, no trainer. And some people will look at this and go, this is not a good sign for Joe Joyce that a couple of months out, he should have a trainer. I mean, what is the strategy going to be? But obviously, we don't know everything that's happening behind the scenes. So if this has been happening, the wheels have been in motion for maybe a week, who knows how long, days. They've probably put feelers out to different trainers in the United States. But you would think he would need to get someone very experienced in his corner. Joe Joyce, although he's got good amateur experience, I still think he needs a good ear in his corner guiding him, because in the pro game, obviously, he's still quite green, just the 10 fights under his belt, and he's going into the biggest fight of his career. And considering that it is the biggest fight of his career, the timing is not great for this, but obviously they feel they needed to do it. So outside influences, who knows? Maybe there was some bust up with Booth. Maybe Booth didn't want to travel to the United States to do a camp. Perhaps he said, look, you have to do it here or we're not training together. It could be as simple as that, with a desire potentially from the Joyce camp to want to, go to the United States and be out of sight and do their training, get on with it and come back for the fight. I don't know, but yeah, this is certainly curious that this has happened now, and obviously they were working together as late as January. But what do you make of this? Is this something that is going to affect Joe Joyce, or was it time for him to get a new trainer? But the other thing, I guess, 3 trainers in 2.5 years, you have to ask the question, is Joe Joyce the problem, or is it Joe Joyce and his manager? All this chopping and changing, it's not good. And given he's going to be on to his 4th trainer soon, yeah, I guess the question needs to be asked. Are there problems within the Joyce team camp? Can they not work well with trainers because of conflicting ideas about what they need to do? Let me know. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.